It is Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023, and today is the day of our weekly cult meeting, Wizard Wednesday, channeling in from the third dimension. This is the Black Goat of the Wood, Elf J Trul, and joining me is...
We've got Dotta here. Hello.
Shapeshifter Bear, let's go 3D!
Hey.
Let's go, bring it up!
All right. That's what I'm talking about. What did we do today? What happened?
Oh, just nothing. Just a 1.5 year long project delivered.
They said it couldn't be done.
They said it couldn't be done. You could never
F you,
make
Shark
10,000
Tank.
3D models. Yeah. Where's that guy now? Gypsy
Where's
came
that
up
guy now?
with a clever comparison. He was comparing his other projects and said, it's rugged versus rigged. And with there's so many projects that have not delivered on their promises. Unlike Forgotten Runes, which has shipped 10,000 models. It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. I don't know how we did it. I've worked in 3D for 10 years and I've never done something this complex, this enormous. Let's just start with this. How much describe the insanity since like 8 o'clock this morning. Like what have we been doing all morning?
Oh, you mean when we were like, oh yeah, we're not going to launch today. Damn it, it's going to be another week. Everybody's going to be pissed. Everybody's going to bitch about it.
Yeah. And then Dotta just out of the blue was like, you know what? We might be able to launch this morning. And I was like, what?
It was a couple of things.
Dotta. Oh, go ahead.
It was a couple of things. It was one that was that ran me through a few of the things that I thought were broken, and then when we looked at it, they weren't that broken, and I was like, actually, we could fix these. But then Waz started taking heat in the sales chat, and I was like, no, we're doing this. I don't care. We're shipping today. We're not going to let Waz get that heat without us.
We got you, Waz.
It was for no other reason than to protect Waz's honor. So
yeah, it's true.
But then Bear was all like, "No, guys, we can't ship today. We have to get the promo right. We've got to get this video."
Oh my God, kill you! Don't worry, there's a great promo video coming next week.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah. It's like even though we launched today, we still have a lot, honestly, to do. We've got some promo material. We've got discussions with partners. I mean, we've got a lot of polish yet to do on the website. So, just because it's launched doesn't mean 3D is like done. There's still so much to do. But yeah, I mean, currently there is a party in On Cyber right now. I mean, we everybody's dancing. People are swimming in a pool of kobold Kool-Aid. Waz is literally standing on top of the secret tower. I don't even know how he got up there.
Yeah, I've been just so thrilled with how they came out looking on the website. It's been such a fitting process for our company name of being Magic and Machine, insofar as once you get the models and you get them textured, you still have to render them, which is an art and science in and of itself, right? So when you look at the website, how those are visualized is called a toon shader, and there's lots of different ways that you can kind of shade these graphics, and really this toon shader itself, it was a work of art that was put together by our team, to really make sure that the light reflects off each surface in a way that feels like both modern, but also classic. So when I just look through the website, I just think I get so happy in my stomach. I just love it.
Yeah, and I mean, even the toon shader, it's like the really dark colored characters didn't look great with one setting, and the light colored characters looked good, and then if we tweak it, then it would reverse the problem. And so we're still trying to perfect all the colors and the lighting. just another few other things you might notice. That's like not all the items are sitting perfectly in the hands. We definitely want to add more animations to the top of the page. Like we want to show wizards walking, maybe dancing. Who knows? We're gonna have more options for downloading. Like I don't think we currently have all the textures as a download option. That's coming. I'm sure people are going to find a bunch of other bugs that we haven't even seen. So, just report those and we'll squash them. And yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but also your token on OpenSea also displays your 3D wizard.
All that being said, too, I think like really early, I'm like when I saw it, what reminded me of when with the Toon Shader on was like Wind Waker, and it still presents that image to me a lot, or that reference, even though like maybe we didn't design it that way, but like it still has like that the qualities that I endear and love about that game. And I don't know, it sticks out to me. I just wanted to add that it's like all the things that we already have accomplished with it. It still like looks so amazing.
Thanks, Jitsi. Yeah, Wind Waker is definitely an inspiration.
One of the other things that we just like couldn't stop tweaking it towards the end. So one of the things that you'll notice is the spells even emit their own light, right? So if you find a wizard with a fire spell or a leaf spell, you can kind of like visualize the spell animation with the lighting. It looks just I've spent a lot of time clicking around and I just love all of it.
Yeah, the spells, that was a whole job in itself, just animating each spell. Another fun thing, if you notice, like the floor that your wizard is standing on, so that is dependent on your wizard's name. So yeah, the floors change per wizard name. It's all customized. Gosh, what else? There's
Souls, I think souls are not like incredibly far away. That's one thing people should know. People are asking.
Yep. The souls they're actually all modeled. They just need textured and rigged. It'll be a while before that happens, but it's not like we have to rebuild a whole new website once they're done. We just plug them in, and it's like I've been saying, it's like the website is what has probably pushed this whole thing by like a month.
Well, and adding spells and adding all the accessories and staffs. I think we we would get to a certain point and then we'd be like, what would be great if we did this, right? And then we did this, and obviously that can be a trap. But I'm happy we added all the things we ended up adding, and with the souls, I think part of it is just the pipeline and the process. I feel like Elf, you Frog, and Molly, and then Waz on the dev side sort of really defined a pipeline that is going to make everything sort of a bit smoother, right? You guys were kind of like driving and paving the road at the same time.
Yeah. I got to give big shout out to Frog for really helping with this pipeline design. Speaking of Frog, Frog finally got his first wizard today. He he earned his wizard. I mean, he's been with us for a long time, and it's probably long overdue. But yeah, Frog now has a wizard.
Yeah, I don't think I even realized that he didn't have a wizard until today. We're like all logging into OnCyber for a family photo. We're like, Frog, get in here. Like, why aren't you wearing your wizard? And he's like, I don't have one. We're just like, that's ridiculous.
All of us together were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, pick one, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, the wizard. So the format that we have right now are FBX. You can download it as a GLB. Oh, I think I put and then as a VRM. So there's so much software that will let you import VRM files. Then you can just drag and drop that file and use it there. And so we have on the website that we are talking to Nifty Island. So you should be on the lookout there for some things from them. And well,
and more.
yeah,
I think
more.
So I think part of the part of doing this is, I mean, there's so many reasons to do this, but the way I see it as someone who spends a lot of time like making connections and trying to sort of make partnerships is we represent, not only do we represent a community that is engaged and interested in telling stories, but like we've now created assets that can be deployed into any other metaverse, any other game. I'm talking to a lot of just indie game developers, larger game developers, big engine companies, and now like what we represent is we represent an audience, and we have assets that we can hand over, and sort of come with an audience, come with the assets. And I can't tell you how nice that is for an outside partner to hear. Is like, okay, well, every game, every indie game, every big game wants to build their daily and monthly active users, and so for me, I feel like my job is just starting, because you guys have built this thing, and now we can go take it and put it into other things. So the world is our oyster. There's a lot of conversations happening. There's a lot of sort of Web3 partnerships that I think will blow the doors off the hinges when the time is right, when we can announce. But until then, I think we'll be built on. For me, on cyber, for us on cyber was really important to have from day one, right? This idea of like, okay, cool, you have models. Well, what the hell are you going to do with them? I think it's great to empower the small handful of people that know how to use Blender, that know how to use Unreal, that can sort of get them moving around. But this idea of having a file, downloading it off our site, going to a website, and drag and dropping a file into on Cyber and being able to run and jump around, to me, that's the biggest. That is such a huge thing. At the very least, it's the baseline, right? You can screen capture, you can start making rudimentary content, and that content will scale, and it will get more complex, and more exciting as our partnerships roll out and as more tools roll out.
I'm looking at everybody in On Cyber right now. It's so cool seeing everybody here together. I am seeing some hilarious bugs. Matto, your wizard, what is going on with her hands?
Yeah, also, Matto's turning into a tree.
Scissor hand gang. I think Tanya also has the same issue. I'm sure you'll get it fixed out. Just when I saw, I was like, "What the hell is going on?" And I saw Tanya had the same issue for bodies. I was like, okay, some of the bodies just have that, I guess. But yeah, really
no,
great.
We're just trolling you guys. We did that deliberately.
No, it's perfect on the site, and I actually played, because you delivered my model earlier. I actually played around with it on Blender, but it was like a bit difficult for me. Like, it was a lot I had to learn in Blender. So actually being able to like walk around with it is like the first time I've actually got to do it. So
great. Yeah, it's weird because it does work on the website, but when you bring it into On Cyber, it's behaving strangely. Yeah, I mean, look, like I said, there's going to be a ton of bugs we have to squash. But I mean, overall, how much fun is it seeing everybody in this environment?
Oh, I love it
pretty
so
fun.
much.
Yeah, and even like this environment, we're going to build this out a little bit more. There's a lot of stupid little Easter eggs in here, and we definitely want to add more of those. It's pretty badass when you walk into the secret tower. I don't know if you guys have done that yet, but it's there's a kind of a surprise in there, I guess.
You can go in the secret tower.
Yeah, you haven't even done that yet?
No.
Yeah, we walk up to the door, press E, and then walk in.
Okay, cool.
yeah, I don't know if you remember Dotta, but like I remember long ago, it was like one of the requests I had, like maybe if you guys made like an On Cyber gallery, because I had long ago my gallery that I made to show off.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that we actually have like a gallery here. Like I'll probably like use this later to create like a nice, to like remake my gallery. It's been long overdue. Adding some new NFTs. So this will be really great for displaying a lot of what I have.
Cool.
Yeah. I think the plan for On Cyber 2 is this idea of oh wow, I am in the secret tower. I didn't know that. Is like, I think, as Elf said, this is a V1, but what we would love to do is create more of a gallery situation also, where we can highlight different cult members' collections, whether that's Forgotten Runes art or otherwise, and do that monthly. Get some, maybe we get Gigas Chad to come and DJ a set. I think there's opportunities for events in there, and then also, like I said, On Cyber's building a bunch of new tools too that are going to unlock some other things. So we really want to sort of build on, and also, we want to be able to give assets to to people in the cult to like, put a secret tower or like have a network of Forgotten Runes branded spaces, right? So I think this is just the beginning.
Yeah, I think on Cyber they started out, it was literally just like virtual galleries, and that's all like they were doing. And then like recently, I want to say like maybe like from like the start of the year, they started like really branching out to like more metaverse stuff. So like I think like the timing of everything is perfect. That like like they just started pushing out that like, hey, this will be more than just having like a gallery. You can actually have like hangout spots in here and like play around with your friends and stuff. So like very good timing to have this. I pointed this out on Twitter, but like most other collections, even if they have like 3D models, it's usually just like they'll have like a set model for like maybe like their mascot character or maybe like 10 characters that you can pick from. I know Washi's just recently did like maybe like 100 of them or so. Like there's not many collections I know of that have like a full all 10K that are like completely modeled out that you can play with.
Yep. How do I get out of the secret tower?
I think
You're trapped
F
here.
F to get out.
Yeah. There's a giant pink baby anime girl in my way.
That was me.
Tanya, your hands look amazing.
Yeah, it's like they're like crow arms.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe Tanya doesn't want us to fix that. Maybe that's the way she likes it.
Scissor hand gang.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's so exciting to launch. But yeah, I mean, more to come. I mean, like Bear said, we've got a lot of partners lined up. I've said this a million times, but as the metaverse is being built out, this Wizards will be at every door. And so this is just the beginning of a sort of exponential vector as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Oh, and make sure to take a dip in the Cobalt Kool-Aid hot tub.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, anything else about 3D?
I mean, that's all for now. I'm gonna hang out on Cyber.
Yeah. We'll periodically check in with On Cyber as the show goes on, but yeah, let's see, what else do we have to talk about today? Did you guys see that the One Ring has been found?
Oh,
Yes.
I did see it. Post Malone found it.
Post
No, he
Malone
bought it. I think Post Malone bought it for like 1.2 mil or something.
2.2 mil.
2 million dollars. Insane.
Wow,
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Meeple Dad shared a really fun video in the Secret Tower, and I watched it, and it really is a pretty feel good story. It was just a regular guy, just a regular fan of Magic the Gathering, and he said something that really stood out. He said he said things like this don't happen to people like me. It must be magic. And of course, a statement like that really makes me think of Forgotten Runes. And it's just like, the lore behind Lord of the Rings at this point it's so much more than all the stuff that Tolkien wrote. It's Lord of the Rings has become a cultural phenomenon. It's just really been interwoven into our social currents. And what I love about this story is that it's just this guy, he was just a regular fan of Lord of the Rings, and he was suddenly plugged into this massive story, this historical moment. And these historical moments are really few and far between with these giant media franchises, because they're like a story like that is really just, at the end of the day, it's a marketing stunt. That's the only reason they did it, and but with a decentralized media franchise like ours, the connection to the fans is inherent to the whole project. And some of you already own really rare items from the Athenaeum. You own and develop the characters from the Forgotten Runes Legendarium, and you're not being used to just market a project owned by a corporate entity. You're literally part of the IP ownership. And so our goal is to like make it possible for these things to happen to people like you, and that's magic. But of course, we all have to ask, what is Post Malone going to do with this one ring? What do you guys think?
He's gonna smoke it.
Hopefully, he doesn't drill a hole through it like Not So Fast.
You know something really interesting about this card sale too, and I think I put it in Magic Machine Discord, is that like the power of that ring within the card game actually is not that great. Like it really isn't. And so like, like the Lotus card, which is arguably one of the best and most powerful cards in the game, has sold for like 80 or 70 grand or something. So it like really just showcases how strong nostalgia can be. Obviously it's a 1-for-1, I understand that, but like Lotus cards are also like pretty, there's like only like I don't know how many are in print, but just goes to show the strength of like story, right? And so I think it's super interesting.
How many Black Lotus cards are there?
It's a good question. I actually don't know, but like you'd be hard pressed to find when people are even selling them now, right? And they still only go for around that price range, right? Like 2.2 million is actually absurd.
Yeah, and before I had known that it bought for 2 million, I feel like I would rather have a Lotus than the One Ring.
Right. Yeah. I think a lot of MG players would, but at the same time, it's just like, if you love Lord of the Rings that much, and like it's a great collaboration, it really is. So it's just like exciting to see that something was sold for that much just because they really liked the idea of that card.
Yeah, cool.
I thought one of you was going to say that Post Malone is going to throw the card into the fires of Mountain Doom.
Yeah, maybe he should. Yeah.
I'm still trying to hook him into Forgotten Runes.
Seems like something he would like.
Yeah, I agree. He should buy a beast. No, I just feel like I think we talked about this so long ago, back when Elf wanted Paris Hilton in the cult. And, and it's like there's not many celebrities that are like fully aligned with our brand. So when you see someone like Post Malone, who is full on celebrity rock star, but flexing that he's into that, and then like backing it up and like buying Magic cards for $2 million, it just makes you realize like, there's just not that many people to choose from. But anyway, I will continue my path to try to get in there.
Okay, it looks like Color Man has drowned in the Kobold Kool-Aid.
Oh God!
Somebody perform. Does anybody know CPR?
Yeah, I'll do the forbidden dance on their chest.
Yeah.
Quick, just drink it all. He's fine.
Yeah.
Where's Color Man?
That is such a Kobold solution, Jitsi.
On brand, baby.
Oh, that's good. Okay, and then Merlin, you actually asked a really fun question today. Yeah, let me just sort of speak to that. It's kind of a long question. Actually, let me just shorten it. Basically, Merlin is asking if there's any other ways that the cult can provide feedback or creative input on the scripts for the season 1 TV show. And then he's asking, it's like, is it all going to be a total surprise, or are you guys going to reveal any of the script to the cult? And so yeah, I mean, so let me just talk about this for a little bit. We're constantly thinking about what it means to be a decentralized world building project, and we're trying to always brainstorm new ways that the cult can play a role in these large media expressions. And of course, the baseline of this is the book of lore. The lore that you write in the book is fully available to the comic and the show writers, and they potentially use that as source material. But then the question is like, is that it? Are there other ways? And yeah, I think so. And like, let me just preface this with not everything I say forward is just me speculating and thinking aloud. Nothing is definitive or a promise, but yeah, I mean, one fun way I would love to involve more cult members is potentially doing voices for the show. If you don't know, Shark Child actually did the voice of the Keymaster in the trailer. I would love to pursue that further. There may be opportunities for more voices in the show. There may be opportunities to include cult artwork and cult music and just other cult content. Um, as far as like contributing directly to the script, so like obviously one tricky thing is that we're dealing with a studio, we're dealing with Derek and other writers, and these third parties might have a lot of prohibitions on sharing the scripts in a public way. So I don't know about that. As far as like creative input, there's just so much creative wrangling that goes into TV shows already. It's like writers' rooms are notorious for creative conflict, and synchronizing a group of 8 writers in a room is already difficult enough, and so allowing more voices from the cult may make it even more insane. But that said, there's probably some kind of submission process that we could implement.
Yeah, I mean, just to add on to that.
Yeah, go for it, Bear.
Yeah, I mean, I've spent a fair amount of time in a writer's room, and it's very difficult just to juggle all of those opinions and egos, and that's why there's always a hierarchy, and there's a showrunner who's in charge, who says yes or no. But the way we've talked about it with Derek is like, for us, like Elf will almost act as like the Runeverse historian in the room, right? Where when Derek and writers are jamming on ideas and this story thread and this character, what's going on here, what's going on there, Elf can really help act as like a sounding board for all this meta lore and the rules, and also be the conduit for. I think you'll play a big role in the conduit for like, bringing some of these threads from the Book of Lore into the script, into those stories.
Yeah, I did that with the comic a lot. Like, Joe would send me a script and I would make suggestions of more cult content that we could put in. And of course, he was really good about doing that himself. But, nobody knows the cult like us and cult members. No matter what third party creative we bring in, they're just not going to know as much as we do. But yeah, there's just a lot of back and forth. Bear, do you have any insight on like sharing scripts or anything in production before the show like
Yeah,
live?
totally. Yeah, we'll never do it in 1,000 years. So
Okay.
don't ask.
No, yeah, the point of the way that you get your story included in the show is to write in the Book of Lore and then have it like that's always kind of the first pass of where these stories are getting told or getting pulled from, right? That's the inspiration, the source material. There's not a novel. We have the Book of Lore, and so that's the first step if you want to be included.
And we also have to give, I think part of the attraction for Derek in the project is like, listen, he was like, he loves the ethos, he loves the Book of Lore. He's like more collaborative than almost any other sort of successful writer I've ever worked with. But at the same time, like we want to let him do his thing, right? I think he needs to. It's that fine line of like, you don't want to force him into anything. He needs to feel inspired to do his thing that he does so well. And I think I think honestly, I think Elf, you being a part of the writer's room and being that conduit is going to be the best way to get that done. And it won't be sort of overstepping because we want Derek to stretch his legs.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's, another thing I always like to just put on the table is, there's different canons, right? Like the comic is one canon, the show is another canon, the Book of Lore is a canon. What happens in Twitter and Discord, that's a canon. The game certainly has its own canon. And there are points where these different canons overlap, and then there are points where they sort of go their own way. And so, if I say this because it's like, if you're worried that your Book of Lore story isn't portrayed exactly one to one in the show or vice versa, like, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like Magic the Gathering just did a whole Lord of the Rings card set. I have no doubt that the lore that's depicted in the card set is slightly different than the films and the book and whatever else. So I just always want to like be sure that people understand like not all canon has to be perfectly synced one to one, and I think everybody gets that, but it's worth repeating.
Yeah, I mean, the Spider-Verse is really the most popular example of that exact model right now.
Yep, dude. Everybody has drowned in the Kobold Kool-Aid pool. There's like 50 bodies just laying
Yeah.
dead in the pool right now.
I don't think it's safe to drink.
I
don't know what
sacrificed
they're
my
doing.
soul. I sacrificed
I
my
hope
soul.
we don't get sued because we did not put a sign. I mean, we put a no diving sign, but
You should have put a no drinking.
Funny story about that. I didn't even realize this time until you mentioned it. But the only time I've ever fractured or broken a bone on my body is from diving into a pool that was too shallow. So.
Oh, that's scary.
Oh yeah, it could have been way worse.
That's
But
how
it's just
people
funny that.
die. That's how people die.
Or end up
We
in
made
a
it through.
wheelchair.
We're here. I lost some brain cells, but we're good.
Oh, jits. It wasn't a hot tub, was it?
It was. That's the sad part.
This tiny pool, I'm going to jump in head first.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it wasn't my proudest moment.
It's funny. Yeah, you know what? So, man, this is all I actually have prepared today because we've been grinding on 3D since like 8 a.m. So, what do you guys want to talk about? I got nothing.
Yeah, if anybody wants to come on stage, happy to talk about whatever. Same here. The time I would have spent prepping notes, I spent getting 3D done. So I think we can have an on-cyber party for the remaining time, I suppose.
Yeah, or questions in the Secret Tower. Like, I'm looking at Secret Tower now. People, give us questions because I normally do that, and I didn't even do that this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if the at some point when this is done, the Secret Tower, if you're gonna make it claimable or drop to wizard holders, because I would love to make a gallery, like I said earlier.
What a drop?
The Secret Tower 3D map that you have for on cyber.
Oh.
Yeah, because we can make our own galleries with it, but like we have to usually like own the actual asset, and then like we can actually just load it up and like start making our own galleries with the.
Part of what we're gonna do is make some assets that people can build. Do exactly what we're talking about. Have like Forgotten Runes branded assets in their stuff for sure, in their own space.
Awesome.
Oh, Juan Snow asks a question that I think we're fine to answer. We'll give one more of the three, which is any info on what other items will qualify for the Shadow Hats mint? Yes.
Yeah.
The Shadow Crystals. So the
surprise.
part of the motivation. Part of the motivation when we're thinking about what will qualify is, the Book of Shadows could have only required anyone to show up for the Halloween event, right? Or then you could buy it on secondary if you desired. The Shadow Crystals was assigned randomly for those folks who attended the 100th Wizard Wednesday episode. So again, just another opportunity for another cohort to be able to kind of draw that special item. So there's a third item that will also qualify, but we'll announce that when we get closer.
So yeah, if you have the Shadow Book of Shadows or the Shadow Crystal, you will get a free Shadow Hat. Of course, you have to have a Bitcoin.
Shadow, not a Shadow Hat.
Oh yeah, sorry, Shadow. Yeah, Shadow, not Shadow Hat, obviously. But yeah, you need to have an Ordinals address ready. And yeah, there may be more later. But
I also want to give a shout out. I see Cosmo in the crowd, and Cosmo definitely contributed to the site. So shout out to Cos. Love you, Cos.
Shout out to Cos.
Homie.
Another thing with the shadows and the Shadow Hats is those will probably be inscribed sometime within the next 2 weeks. One of the fun things about Ordinals is that you're actually able to see the whole collection before the mint happens, because you have to inscribe the whole collection on the Bitcoin blockchain, which is public at first. So yeah, you'll be able to see the collection of those soonish. And then when we do the drop, we'll see. It won't be we'll figure out when we want to drop it.
Night Owl Birdman is asking Shadow Hat's recap. I'm not sure what you mean by recap.
Maybe is he asking about like the lore?
Oh, I think he's just asking for like a general update.
The update is that they'll be inscribed within the next couple of weeks, and then we'll announce the mint date. Once we decide when the mint date should be, I suppose.
And if you have a Book of Shadows or a Shadow Crystal, you get one for free.
Can I get one for free?
No, Bear.
Damn it! I mean, this is kind of like internal stuff, and I don't think anyone super cares. But we just finalized the ad that's going to go in the big comic book distributor catalog. So I think we've talked about it before, but we're super important that this first issue #1 sales go well. So we're putting together some fun stuff. And we'll make it very easy for people to order comics. You won't even necessarily have to call the comic book store like sort of manually. I think you'll be able to do it online also. So that I think that starts on August 24th. So keep a heads up for that. It'll be exciting.
Excellent. Sorry, I'm just reading questions in the Secret Tower.
There's other things I want to say, but I feel like every time we like throw things out there, then we just get our faces burned off if it doesn't happen in a week. So I'm gonna stop dropping so much alpha.
Yeah, have to just wait till it's ready. I think today we're just gonna do the Impy Shake in on Cyber and celebrate. I think so one of the things that I'm excited about with the 3D models is the ability of like making games. I think we saw a glimmer of this with Goblin Town, the Goblin Town WTF brand, where like game developers, they made some of their assets available, and game developers started like advertising and using their Goblin Town assets within their game. Did you guys see this in the?
Of course, it's called
Wait.
Up Only. It's called Up Only.
There you go. So I love that. That's something we've always wanted to do with these models, and I think that like making a subset or an SDK, we have to figure out what the license and the distribution is, but assuming we figure that out to something that's agreeable to everyone, making basically like an asset pack for game developers that can use Forgotten Runes models seems like a very good marketing tactic for us, because these models are so much better than almost all the models you might get for free on, let's say, the Unity asset store. And so you could see people wanting to include Forgotten Runes assets in their Wizards games, which really then goes to just like grow the brand. So we'll be putting that together soon. And yeah, I'm very excited to like play games that have Wizards in them.
Hell yeah. I saw somebody asking about the capes. A lot of Wizards have capes. That was a really difficult thing. Because so it's like we could have made the capes be like flappy and have their own physics. That is definitely possible. We could have done it on the website. The problem is we want these assets to be able to be used in Nifty Island, on Cyber, in a dozen other applications that are coming down the pike. So not all of those applications will support physics-based cloth capes. So that's why we didn't build it right away. A really big part of this is interoperable metaverse assets. And so, you just have to build these as basic, and I guess the word is generic, although that sounds, not great, I guess. But yeah, I mean, that's why we didn't do floppy physics-based capes.
Yeah, but those could be added within, the particular environment, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like we have the models, and I think like we can download them and we can always like modify them. And I'm sure like there's like if there's a game that calls for it, like it can be added as like one of the fixtures. But like just for having a base model be as interoperable as possible, I think is the best play to go.
Yep, that's exactly right, Matto. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing anyone can do is like you can download the raw Blender file and modify it any way that you want. You've obviously you need advanced 3D skills, but it is possible. And it's like that was another thing we were wrestling with. It's like we want to make these models accessible to the general public, I guess, like people who don't know anything about 3D. Is there a space for them? And the answer is yeah, just drag and drop it into OnCyber and you can play with it. But then we also want to make it editable for advanced 3D users. And if that's who you are, then download the Blender file. So, these models are very adaptive, I guess. They're very flexible to just a ton of different environments and different uses. It took a lot of planning to get it to that point.
And they look really good.
And they look real good. Yeah. Okay, give us more questions, or anyone who wants to come up and ask a question.
Nard's suit looks amazing. The suit is very good. And Nard says in the Secret Tower, this looks better than my LinkedIn profile pic.
Nice. Yeah, that's how you apply for a job in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna use this image now, like my 3D, for basically everything. It's gonna be great. I'm so excited for people to ask questions about it, and me get to explain to them for 15 minutes to an hour about what we do here. So it just opens up conversation for me.
Did anybody look? Oh, did anybody look at our employee of the month on the wall?
Yeah.
Employee of the year, right?
I thought we did month. Let's not go crazy here.
No,
I'm just saying. I love Frog.
No, Frog Frog is the employee of the month. I think we all know who next month is going to be.
Me.
Definitely not Bear. Bear helped Zero with 3D.
Oh, come on.
Hey, we're a
Hey man,
support
I don't
system.
do 3D. That's all good.
In fact, Bear almost prevented the launch today. So
Stop it.
I'm
No, it's
joking.
cool.
In the right
he's
place.
he's joking. I know
Straight
you just
to
don't
underbus.
like you don't like anyone knowing about the stuff you build. I get it. It makes sense. There's no reason to bark and stuff. Why?
Yeah.
Well, we got to give a shout out to Cheddar Bob for the vector runes. Is that true?
Oh yeah.
Cheddar Bob made the vectorized runes. All the runes you see on the website were made by Cheddar.
Yeah, good work.
Yeah, good work.
Also, props to Waz, right? I've seen like day in day out how much Waz been working with all this stuff too. So like on the website.
Well, yeah, I mean that's who I meant when I said who it's going to be next month. It's obviously Waz, because Waz and Frog were just a freaking power couple getting 3D over the line. Couldn't have done it without
Power couple.
Love it.
Well, I told Bear the other day. I said if Frog and Waz break away and do their own NFT project, they're going to destroy us.
Yeah, I told you not to say that out loud so they could hear you. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Shant, hello.
Hello, GM.
Hey.
What up?
What's going on? I just wanted to say,
not much.
I was just gonna say this is awesome. Like I'm playing around with 3D. I'm like blown away. This is like gorgeous. So just wanted to say kudos to the team. This is awesome. I can't get over it.
Thanks,
Sean,
boss.
Your 3D head is one of my favorites. I love how he turned out.
What's your wizard number, Sean?
It is 683.
683.
Yeah, I'm about to like post a little video. I figured out how to do it on mobile, but like, yeah, just gorgeous. I was also wondering too, the companions. I don't know if you guys talked about it, but is there like any plans for them? Like, I completely get the decision. I think it was the right one to leave them out for it and like runes and whatnot. But I was just curious if there's any thoughts there.
I definitely want to make the familiars. The big holdup on them is like they're living characters, and so they need rigged and animated. It's not like an item in the hand where it's just a static item. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something I want to do.
Sweet. Yeah, no, I'm fully behind and supportive of it not being here right now. Like, I makes sense to me. I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I can't wait to do familiars for sure.
I've always wanted to do voxel familiars and do like our version of Crossy Road with them. Oh, that'd be so much
That's
fun.
fun. Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah.
What is Crossy Road?
Excuse me, gamer extraordinaire doesn't know Crossy Road, the
I have a
casual
strong
game?
feeling it's like
No.
some mobile game on your phone that you play for 5 minutes, the most boring thing in the world. But
Here
please
we
enlighten me
go.
there.
Yes,
Jesus,
it's Frogger.
Jitsi.
It's
It-
Frogger for moms who play Candy Crush.
Exactly.
Well, there we go. Why would I ever play that then?
I describe you as mamas who play Candy Crush all the time.
Oh, well, you're not wrong.
Has anybody? Hey, have you guys checked out the Color Master? Oh man,
No.
Color Master. It's really good. I think it's 777.
No, that's the Keymaster.
Oh, that's the Keymaster. Wait, what's the Color Master? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, so good.
I'm just excited to have 1,000 meetings about getting these 3D models into as many places as possible.
Golden Green Goat posted a fun GIF of the Nifty Island thing.
Did they post?
To be honest, I don't know where Golden Green Goat got this. I thought this was a hidden image.
Yeah, I thought that was a private image, and I'm not sure where that.
They must be on the team or something.
but yeah, I mean, regardless, I'm just blown away with how talented that team is. And they've been DMing us this morning, congratulating, and they're so excited to get Wizards into Nifty Island, and I'm excited too.
No, but this picture at 2:46 PST from Golden Green Goat. This is what I'm talking about. This is like we can just plug our characters into someone else's game, and I'm telling you, these developers are so excited about it because we represent an audience that's gonna, and we're gonna send them to them. So I'm just like, this is the interoperability and the future of that. Like, this is such a huge step, and yeah, it might seem like something small to some people, but it's actually like this is sort of just like the beginning. It's like when my wife was pregnant, and I was like, God, this is like my wife's been praying for a long time. This is really hard. I was complaining about it, and I was like, we gotta get this baby out. I said, life's good. And then the baby came, and I was like, oh shit. Well, now we have to like take care of a kid.
Put it back.
Put it back. No, but my point is like this is the baby's been born. Now we have to now we got to raise them and like do something with it. And so we have these 10,000 models, and we have an amazing cult of people.
10,000 babies.
We have 10,000. Yeah. When 3D model wizard babies.
Yeah. yeah. When Wizard Baby Orphanage 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's just the beginning, right? Like this is like the tools have been created, and now we need to deploy them. So it's
I'm so
cool.
convinced it's going to be something in the future too, because we're actually seeing a theme across like big streamers who are putting their own identity into games, right? Like huge games at this point, right? But like this for me is that step, but on a grander scale across like more people, right? So like I'm super excited for the conversations with some of these like dev teams, games, wherever it leads us to, that like having them as an option, like it's so important. Like I'm beyond excited.
Yeah. I still think people underestimate what the metaverse represents, and I know maybe it's been talked about to death, and it's like it's at that point in the hype cycle where it's in the I think it's called the trough of disillusion. Like people don't believe it's actually going to happen because it got overhyped like a year ago, and now nobody talks about it. And I'll tell you why nobody's talking about it, because they're building it. And building assets for the interoperable metaverse, or I'm going to say it for the 77th time, it represents an exponential vector for everybody who's building for it. And so it's like Bear, like you talk about like, great, now we have to deploy these, but it's like we don't have to deploy, we just have to send the assets over and they deploy. It's like the work is kind of done on our part, and now it's just it's just riding that exponential vector into every meta that opens up. But Sammy-san, hello.
Hello, fellow wizards. How you doing?
Hello,
What's
Good.
up?
What's
Let's
up?
go.
Yeah, I just wanted to drop by, and I have a question regarding the shadows. So, and you've probably been asked this before, but have you guys looked into inscribing them on like special sets at all?
Yes. The answer is yes.
We've been doing a lot of, I guess,
Cool
talking
things.
and developing
Yeah.
and planning for that.
Oh, yeah.
So
I don't-
we
yeah.
are working on that, but we can't talk about the details because we have to, get some, and we don't want to talk about it
Yeah.
before we have them.
And also like these shadow hunters, shadow hunters. They, I mean, they're great. They're like I know some of them. They're great, but they make the prices, like, so you have to be, you have, deals are being made and stuff, but that's the cool thing about Bitcoin, I believe, because you can just inscribe your stuff on any sets you can get your hands on, and you can even, like, I mean, the whole theme with like special sets, right? That didn't exist basically, and people came up with that, and you can create your own narrative, right? So, like, I don't want to spoil anything if you have thought about that, but for example, you can say, let's inscribe them on, you can make your own wizard sets. Basically, you can find like the block when the runes went live. You can find sets from that block, from that time, from that day, and then call them wizard sets or something like that. Like the possibilities are there.
I love that you're thinking along those lines. We actually have some really fun plans. And Dotta, I'm not going to say what it is, but I feel like we're planning something that I don't even think has been done yet, just in terms of, I don't know what words I'm allowed to say and what I'm not. But don't you think there's
Yes.
something novel stuff that's going on here that I think at least Samisa would appreciate?
Yeah, and I think that it's kind of like when someone gives you like a gift that you already have, and you're like, I love that you know me so well to give me that because I already bought it for myself. That's exactly what is happening here. I completely agree with you that you can make your own narrative with interesting stats, and you are 100% right. And I'm excited to share with you what we've got as soon as we get the bird in the hand.
Oh yeah. I'm my body is ready.
Great, mine too.
Yeah. Shout out to you guys. Love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
gotta go, but you guys have a great day. And yeah, I guess talk to you soon.
All right,
Have a good one, guys.
See you,
Later.
Samisa.
Yo, bye bye.
What up, Fungible? Been a while.
Hi.
Yo, GM.
Hey.
How
GM.
the hell are you?
We're
What's up,
great.
buddy?
We're great.
I just got to say, like, I could not be more impressed by a team and the community you guys have built. I am usually like just missing this space or coming out of like a 2.5 hour one like today and don't have just need to go outside. But I just had to come in and voice my appreciation for all of you, both the team and just the people that make the Wizards so special. It's really refreshing and it's really inspiring to see your guys' dedication to showing up with such immense regularity and fortitude and powerful positive vibes. And the developments that you've released, I just caught Deez's Wizard Shake, had me fucking rolling, like so good. And I can't wait to just try out and see what my wizards look like. But yeah, I really just wanted to come up and give you guys some very well deserved props. I've mostly been chatting with artists lately on Spaces and haven't voiced the equal gratitude to the founders, the builders, and people that are here and have just like stayed building and thinking and dreaming and making shit happen. And you guys are top of mind whenever I think of folks that are doing that to a really high degree. So yeah, just have a lot of love, and wanted to come and share that.
Thanks, Funch.
Funch, thank you so much, man. That really means a lot. It is not easy running an NFT project. There's 1,000 challenges that a legacy media company does not have. But it's the best job I've ever had, and getting feedback like that just really makes it all worth it.
Yeah, I think for us, and I think a lot of people have have heard about this. We heard us say this in the audience is, I think we've just always had the long vision of doing this. It's honestly, there's a lot of like selfishness, even for me at least. Like I just always want to do this forever. So that made us, organize the business in a way where we can not like burn through all of our money and plan accordingly. And I think it's like I think we talk about it all the time. It's just like survive until the next bull. And I feel like we're doing way more than just surviving. It's kind of bleak out there, but if you focus on the negative, you're going to end up getting sucked down. But if you focus on the positive and you surround yourself with really smart people, Dotta and Elf, best partners I've ever had, and our team is just so top notch. It makes I almost feel bad like what a good mood we're in all the time. So until everybody catches back up, I think we'll just be sitting here, swinging and working. And I also think like we're not the only ones either. I think there's going to be some incredible comeback stories happening whenever everything sort of flips over and sort of feels fresh again. So I look forward to seeing those comeback stories, and I don't think we ever left, so I don't think we're a comeback story necessarily, but there's so many people every week I'm talking to people who are just jamming and just like heads down working. So, I'm pretty sure most of the people in this space are just going to be here doing their thing. So, we'll all be celebrating soon enough.
Yep. Crucifor, did you have a comment question?
Hey, wizards! Long time.
Hey!
Yo!
First time caller. Look, congratulations on the drop. It was a great thing to wake up to this morning. Down here on the bottom of the world. And just to celebrate, I was just wondering if you would be interested at all if I played the Alpha Draconian mouth flute for you, just very briefly.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Fantastic.
Go
It'll be
for
a
it.
very short,
Hit
it'll be a
us.
short little ditty because I have to run. But okay. Okay, that's all I got time for.
All right. Thank
Was
you.
that-
Mind blowing.
We
Let's
love
go.
I
music.
hope that just.
Was that the Mission Impossible theme song?
I honestly don't know what that was. I sort of got a little
Move
bit of stage fright.
over.
But thank you for indulging me.
Speaking from the soul.
We love you,
Move over.
Crucifor.
Buddha healing sounds.
Have a magical day.
Have a good one.
Amazing.
Love
Amazing.
Crucifor.
It took me a second.
I know.
Mouth flute.
I was like mouth flute. Yeah. Okay. Now I understand what's going on. I was like, God, that really sounds like his mouth.
Move over. Buddha healing flute sounds. We've got a lizard mouth flute. I love Wizard Wednesday.
Yeah, well, we're about out of time. I just have one request of the cult. Post screen grabs of your 3D wizard on Twitter. Post squad shots of your squad. Post your wizard dancing. Just fill the timeline up with 3D Forgotten Runes content. That's my only request.
Oh, and we're also going to have some really fun, more shareable pictures that's rolling out next week. We also have some really fantastic, sort of a lot of honorary wizards and some other wizards. We're going to be posting those really fun cards, dance cards on Twitter. and we have a video that's rolling on the website. So yeah, any love you can give it, amazing. And if not, love yourself. Then let's wrap it.
Dotta, anything else?
Let's stay magic.
Stay
magic!
magic! Woo! This has been Elf, Dotta, Bearsnake, Mata, Jitsi, Fungible, Shant, and Crucifor, and the entire three-dimensional Forgotten Runes Wizards cult channeling out.